Hello everyone and welcome to my new series, 3 key points from each Mass Effect game to benefit a trilogy remake or remaster. In this series we're going to discuss from each of the Mass Effect games, 1, 2, 3 and Andromeda, 3 key points that each game did exceptionally well that should be set as a standard for what any new Mass Effect IP or remake or remaster of the original trilogy should have as a standard. In this, we should have a slightly changed game instead of just a basic game with some HD graphics, which in itself would be okay, but with the successes of Final Fantasy and Resident Evil uplifting their games with more modern technology and standards, I think in this we should be able to get a more complete and cohesive experience from Mass Effect rather than having 2007 technology and then up to 2010 we would have one equal set of gameplay settings over the entire thing. With this, we'll probably be moving into the Frostbite engine since that is what EA likes to use at the moment. So that is our likely destination for standard of quality. So with that, we're going to start off with Mass Effect 1 and discuss a bit about the things from Mass Effect 1 that are key things that I think would benefit any remake or remaster of the Mass Effect trilogy. After then, moving on to Mass Effect 2, 3 and Andromeda. So stick around and let's go through the points. Starting here, we're going to look at the introduction of Mass Effect 1 with the intro cinematic and discuss a little bit about the things that made it incredibly epic and engaging and awe-inspiring, and why any remake and remaster should take the essence of what we see here and add that to the entirety of the games if at all possible.
Well, what about Shepard? She's a spacer, lived aboard starships most of her life.
Military service runs in the family. Both her parents were in the Navy.
She proved herself during the Blitz, held off enemy forces on the ground until reinforcements arrived.
She's the only reason Elysium is still standing.
We can't question her courage.
Humanity needs a hero, and Shepard's the best we've got.
I'll make the call.
We have the music here and just a slight introduction, adding in pace and excitement with the escalating music here, reading things about the very basic nature of what the game's going to be about.
Arcturus Prime relays in range. Initiating transmission sequence.
Commander?
We are connected. Calculating transit mass and destination. The relay is hot. Acquiring approach vector. All stations secure for transit. Green. Approach run has begun.
Seeing the scale.
Getting a relay in 3, 2, 1.
Seeing the scale of the ship versus the mass relay was just something incredible to behold.
Thrusters, check. Navigation, check. Internal emissions sync engaged. All systems online. Drift, just under 1500K.
1500 is good. Your captain will be pleased.
I hate that guy.
Nihilus gave you a compliment. So you hate him?
You remember to zip up your jumpsuit on the way out of the bathroom? That's good. I just jumped us halfway across the galaxy and hit a target the size of a pinhead, so that's incredible. Besides, Spectres are trouble. I don't like having them on board. Call me paranoid.
You're paranoid. The Council helped fund this project. They have a right to send someone to keep an eye on their investment.
Yeah, that is the official story. But only an idiot believes the official story.
We have there just excellent intro, the music just building in intensity, the very militaristic style with the drums just sets the tone that you're a soldier, this is the military. We see the Normandy flying past the mass relay and the size and scale, and then entering into the ship, setting us up in a equal position with Nihilus in terms of overwatching Joker. And then we see Nihilus, and he has very bold, dark, and red colors. His face paint looks very strong and intimidating, and he has his area of authority where he speaks briefly and then moves off. Keeping that sort of interaction, and then Joker and Caden's small conversation introduces what we're going to be doing, a little bit about the character and why we're here. And at this point, I just wanted to know more. What is the next step? Who was that alien? What can we know more about him? What are we doing here? And I think that any new remake or remaster needs to keep this feeling exactly as it is. Welcome to part 1 of our 4-part series, 3 key points from each game to benefit a Mass Effect Trilogy Remake or Remaster. And our first point we're going to be discussing today is the sense of awe and wonder, which I believe that Mass Effect 1 set the standard for the introduction to the universe and the sense of wonder and awe that we had at what is this new universe, what are we looking at, what are we seeing, who are these new people, what are their stories, and really bringing us into the fold of the excitement of something new, which in a context of other sci-fi franchises being more like Star Trek about the discovery of the unknown rather than Star Wars, which is more about just small stories and fighting within an established universe, but little to recommend for a new exploration and the unknown. So starting off with Mass Effect 1, we have the intro sequence where we have we have Hackett, Udina, and Anderson talking a little bit about Shepard's past, about who he or she is, leading into a walk through the Normandy, seeing what the ship looks like, the nice music playing in the background, very militaristic, heavy drums, in order to have a sense of that you're a soldier in the military, and rising up to your reveal of your character that you've created, and then showing Nihilus next to you, which for me it was immediate. Who is this character? Wonder what alien race this is. What's his story? His character design I felt was absolutely perfect, with the darkness, the black, the reds, and then the white complicated face paint. Really brought in the air of mystery and power and authority to his character, and really set the stage for I can't wait to find out more about this. Then we have our Eden Prime Beacon, where we start to get our first glimpses of the future parts of the series and our first mystery. And after that, the entrance into the Citadel, seeing the size of the Destiny Ascension, seeing the Citadel as a scope and size for your tiny ship, really brought in the amount of awe that I was just jaw-dropping, just excited to see what was in the arms of the Citadel, what was here, what was there, and then taking the first steps out and of the human embassy, walking into the Volus and Elcor embassies, and finding 2 new races, differing speech patterns and systems of their governments, and talking to them, finding out everything that I could. I just could not wait to see what was next. And I think out of all the games, Mass Effect 1 definitely did this the best, while Mass Effect 2 and 3 had less of this, which is understandable because they've already established the world. Them having a little bit in certain areas, but generally number 1 set the standard. Mass Effect Andromeda had the intro wasn't too bad at establishing this, but later in the game we really felt a bit bored, in my opinion, of the new locations where we spent a lot of time on some very large hub worlds and there wasn't a great deal of awe and wonder to be found at times. It just seemed very samey and nothing really encaptured me and blew my mind like the original trilogy did, outside of a very few specific circumstances.
Vector. All stations secure for transit. The board is green. Approach run has begun.
Seeing the scale of
Relay in 3, 2, 1.
seeing the scale of the ship versus the mass relay was just something incredible to behold.
Thrusters, check. Navigation, check. Internal emissions sync engaged. All systems online. Drift, just under 1500K.
1500 is good. Your captain will be pleased.
I hate that guy.
Nihilus gave you a compliment. So you hate him.
You remember to zip up your jumpsuit on the way out of the bathroom? That's good. I just jumped us halfway across the galaxy and hit a target the size of a pinhead. So that's incredible. Besides, Spectres are trouble. I don't like having them on board. Call me paranoid.
You're paranoid. The Council helped fund this project. They have a right to send someone to keep an eye on their investment.
Yeah, that is the official story. But only an idiot believes the official story.
We have there just excellent intro, the music just building in intensity, the very militaristic style with the drums just sets a tone that you're a soldier, this is the military. We see the Normandy flying past the mass relay and the size and scale, and then entering into the ship, setting us up in a equal position with Nihilus in terms of overwatching Joker. And then we see Nihilus, and he has very bold, dark, and red colors. His face paint looks very strong and intimidating, and he has his area of authority where he speaks briefly and then moves off. Keeping that sort of interaction, and then Joker and Caden's small conversation introduces what we're going to be doing, a little bit about the character and why we're here. And at this point, I just wanted to know more. What is the next step? Who was that alien? What can we know more about him? What are we doing here? And I think that any new remake or remaster needs to keep this feeling exactly as it is. And then here we have our plot hook.
No, don't touch it. It's too dangerous.
Just wondering exactly what was happening there for the future of it, all the glimpses and what was to come. And now we're entering into the Citadel.
Ascension, flagship of the Citadel fleet.
Well, size isn't everything.
Why so touchy, Joker?
I'm just saying you need firepower too.
Look at that monster. Its main gun could rip through the barriers in any ship in the Alliance fleet.
Good thing it's on our side then.
Citadel Control, this is SSV Normandy, requesting permission to land.
Stand by for clearance, Normandy. Clearance granted. You may begin your approach.
Transferring you to an Alliance operator.
Roger, Alliance Tower. Normandy out.
Normandy, this is Alliance Tower. Please proceed to Dock 422.
This is an outrage! The Council...
Humanity.
Just the ground.
They were not happy about it. Saren's their top agent. They don't like him being accused of treason.
And then we have there the introduction to the Citadel, seeing the size of it, the Destiny Ascension, the Normandy size against that, and coming into dock, the very sort of angelic music sets a tone of mystery, wonder, and just what you want to see next of it, and adding that much extra level of depth. We can see in the background areas of the Presidium, and we think, man, I want to go out and can't wait to go see and explore that. The next point being the establishment of law within their codex system. In Mass Effect, we have an incredibly depth and detailed codex system with everything from detailing about every new alien race we encounter, new pieces of technology, backstories for council and non-council races. Every single thing that you could want to know about the Mass Effect universe is pretty much contained within there. You want to understand how Element Zero works, it's in the Codex. Want to learn how the weapons function with seemingly limitless ammo, it's in the Codex. How does space travel work? It's in the Codex. How does FTL work? It's in the Codex. I think that the developers did an absolutely phenomenal job there, establishing the lore of the universe that you can browse at your leisure, and we're never really left wanting, I wonder what this was about, but it's never really explained in game. There's always a codex entry that will fulfill that for us. And for me, not enough games give you that option to understand the world as it is, and they just provide you a small glimpse of something, but you're always feeling a little bit lacking that you don't truly understand the nature of the world and seemingly accurate scientific representations of the technology that does exist. Okay, now we're going to look at the codex for a quick minute just to show the level of detail that has been brought in for Mass Effect. So we have aliens, council races, so we have information about Asari biology, culture, government, military doctrine, religion, writings, Solarian biology, government, League of One, which is a bit of a side quest that we have, military doctrine, special task group, biology, Turian culture, government, military doctrine, religion, unification war, extinct races, and information that we've gathered about them, non-council races, Geth, Krogan, Quarians. And we're able to just sit here and go through this. Here's some humanity, learning stuff about all the Systems Alliance. We just have hours upon hours worth of information here to understand the backstory and the lore of this game, and I think that just having this elevated the game beyond your standard sort of cover-based shooter that you'd see today. And that sums up our Mass Effect 1 key points. If you have anything that you think that Mass Effect 1 did better than any other game in the trilogy, and including Andromeda, please leave a comment below. And if there's something that I'd missed, I would love to discuss with you further about those key points that you think that Mass Effect 1 specifically did incredibly well that the other games did not. If there are things that I've missed, or if you disagree with anything, I certainly would love to discuss with you further about that. Everyone have a good day, and I will see you around the Citadel.